Okay.
Okay. Yo, what's up, beautiful people? It's your man over Mustang. You're tuning into Origins, friendly local hub podcast show. Today we got a killer interview lineup that's going to blow your mind. We're diving deep into the world of music, culture, and creativity. We have a guest who's about to drop some serious wisdom, so get ready to vibe with us because we're about to bring the heat. Celebrating black excellence and the power of the youth. Stay locked in. It's about to get real. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jeff Coffey, and I'm a custom airbrush artist.
Shout out to you. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born in Kentucky, but I was raised in Nashville, and I had a love and passion for art all my life. And, I just kept going. I never gave up on my dream. And here I am today, top notch.
Shout out to you. And how you came across art, how that, journey started for you.
Well, my uncles, they used to draw. They used to draw a lot of Disney characters and things like that, and it used to blow my mind. But one time I saw a guy airbrushing, and he painted a portrait, and I was blown away. I didn't know that you could actually do that, with an airbrush. So at that moment, I was like 17, 18. I knew at that moment I was going to be an airbrush artist.
And that's what you use in most of your artwork now.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm exclusively airbrush, man. I do a lot of drawing, but it's just to get me started. I'll sketch it out, and then I lay it in with that airbrush, man. That's my drug of
Hmm.
choice.
And this might be hard for you to answer, but do you have like a favorite piece that you created?
Well, I got a new favorite. I just did a Daredevil on a T-shirt that got a lot of interest, and I'm really digging that. I'm really digging that right now.
I saw that art piece. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, I
And
like
that
it.
was airbrush.
Yeah, all airbrush.
That's pretty dope. And do you make your own merchandise?
Yes, I do. I make my own merch. We here at Ink Canvas, it's a tattoo shop slash airbrush studio, and my business partner, his name is Chase. You can look him up at Inked by Chase. We share this studio together, and he's a phenomenal artist. I make all of my own clothes, so if you want to order something, you can just hit me up through my TikTok or Instagram account.
Shout out to that. And w- you have your own website where people could go and like order.
Well, I'm right in the middle of transitioning. I'm rebuilding a website right now, so technically, I don't have a working website.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing
Okay.
everything pretty much off my social media feeds.
Okay. I think your work pretty much, stands on its own. Um, and I can see, I already see a lot of potential in this. So I see a lot of people be invested if it's the artwork or the shirts. And when it comes to your merch, what do you offer in your lineup?
Uh, I pretty much standard is t-shirts, and then I do a lot of pants, as you'll see in my feed on my TikTok, and pretty much anything that a customer can bring to me. If paint will stick to it, I'll hook it up. Right now, I've got a suit jacket that I'm putting skulls and flowers on. That's pretty interesting.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And when it comes to the business that you have with your partner, so it's a tattoo shop and something else.
Well, it's a tattoo shop, and then we have a very vast, airbrush studio in here, and we kicking it, man. We haven't been open a year yet, but we're getting our name out there. We're having fun.
Shout out to you. And what's the name of the place again?
It's called Ink Canvas. It's located in Memphis, Tennessee, 3572 Kirby Parkway.
Shout out to you. So you also a tattoo artist?
Yes, I am. I'm also a tattoo artist. I've been leaning more toward my airbrushing because I've been doing projects around the city like Paint Memphis, doing murals and things of that nature. I'm really trying to grow my airbrushing more because we got enough tattoo guys out
Hmm.
there.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And okay. And how you got into tattooing? Was that
uh,
along the way of being an artist or?
well, I got into it. The first job that I got as an artist was at a tattoo shop. I was like an apprentice or whatnot, and so I just kind of leaned into it that way, you know. But
Okay.
airbrushing has always been at the forefront of my passion.
I respect that. And you got some amazing works. And it makes sense why I see so much detail in it. You're also a tattoo artist, so you're not really allowed to screw up. Um, but I do say you are hella talented.
I appreciate
Uh,
it, man. You know, we as black people, man, we have, I feel like, superpowers. You know what I mean?
hmm,
If we find something that we are good at and can focus and have people around that can, help us maintain that focus and keep us off the beaten path, if you know what I'm saying. Man,
hmm,
we can do anything, bro. And I feel like I'm painting with the rock stars, you know.
hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. Especially like, to be able to take your world and like put it on a what do you call that? Uh, poster, the board, like when you put your work piece. Is that a cardboard or
Cardboard?
yeah? Is that what that is?
No, this is a canvas.
A canvas. Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah,
gonna say.
yeah.
Yeah, to be able to take your world and just paint it onto like a canvas is a hell
Exactly.
of a feat.
It's just it's a wonderful thing to be able to just create. It's a lot of wonderful black artists out there just not getting the recognition they deserve. I appreciate this platform that you've created, man, and having me on here. This is a wonderful thing.
Right back at you. And to bring it back to you, when it comes to like working on your pieces, what drives you to, work on a new piece? What sparks your creativity?
Man, my mind is a whirlwind. I'm constantly thinking of something to do new. Uh, Everybody wears clothes, so I'm always thinking of innovative ways to just make people be able to identify what they like through, their attire. Nowadays more so, you can tell a lot about a person by what they're wearing. So, I like to be able to give that to a person. Say, hey man, I ain't never seen Samuel L. Jackson on a shirt like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let me, that's my favorite guy. I love that guy. Let me get that. You can't get it at Walmart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I agree. So is it um so it is also you also inspired to create uh or to open up the door for like within fashion, correct?
Well,
Or is it that so correct me if I'm wrong, is it the idea of opening up the door for fashion, like more creativity, or is it just having uh creating that access of traffic where people can get exclusive clothes from you?
well, I guess I'm a slave to creativity. Even if a person didn't spend a dime, you know what I'm saying? I'd still be creative and stuff. I'd just be surrounded by it. But I really do want people to recognize, you know, what do you want? What's the word I want to use? Exclusiveness,
Mm,
And there's a lot of other people out there that, that do what I do. But, I do it at a really low price. I like to make sure that people are able to get the art. There's a lot of artists out there that make the art unobtainable, and that's not
I
me.
agree.
Yeah, it's unobtainable. You look at it, it's like, oh my God, I can't pay that, and I don't
Mm,
do prints and all that stuff. So if you call me or you want to get with me, your artwork is always going to be original, one of one. I won't reproduce your stuff. And things are getting good, man. I'm gonna do my first live Sunday, and while I'm doing it, I'm also gonna teach how to paint the shirt. So everybody needs to be looking out for that.
Shout out to you. I was just gonna ask, well, I was curious about two things. When it comes to people making or putting in their request for an order, how that process goes.
Um,
And then two, I was also curious, would you be interested to take up apprentice, especially, within our community, just
oh
like you saying,
yes,
we make it really hard, to get access to that creativity. Like even right now, like with R&B, for example, like the state where R&B is at right now
right,
is unrecognizable for anybody. Well, I'm a 90s baby, but,
yeah,
even from my decade, it's unrecognizable to me. So, like
yeah,
just seeing, you know, just bring it back to what you said, like, just making it hard to have access to that creativity. So, shout out to you. And I'm curious where you want to have an apprentice of your own.
yes. I would like to have an apprentice, and I was going to put that out there in a couple of months. I just bought a 1993 Chevy van just for the purpose of traveling the country and selling art at major art conventions. Uh, Shows are something that you can't do on your own. You can, but who wants to, you know? And I would like to have an aspiring airbrush artist, somebody who's dedicated and willing to learn more about the business side of it, as well as how to grow their art and always stay uh, energetic in their creativity. Because it's easy to get caught up in the money and all that and lose your creativity before you know it. Nobody wants your stuff anymore. So I most definitely want an apprentice.
I agree. And not even to make it dark, but I do find it a bit of pathetic if you can only find creativity if you kill one another.
Right.
Uh, so I do like to showcase different ways to inspire creativity. I don't think you need to pull to that extreme to pull some creativity out of your ass, but
Yeah.
we can definitely do it in a healthy way.
Exactly. Exactly.
And and shout out to you for also not only showing the light of the creativity side, but also showing the light within the business side.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm curious, from any young listeners within the art field, could you drop some gems within, the business side of it? What must a young artist, what's a couple things that he must look out for when it comes to business?
I think the most important thing that you should look out for, and always, even beginning artists and seasoned artists, know your worth, you know, and pretty much everybody's going to try to, not everybody, let me take that back. A lot of people are going to try to belittle your skills, your talent, your efforts to save a few dollars, you know. And if you have to, you know, miss a couple dollars because somebody doesn't respect your worth as an artist, so be it. You know, you would rather walk away with your chin up and your pride in your art, than sell out. So always remember your worth, and don't let anybody ever tell you, it's not worth that. I'm not going to pay that. Well, okay, fine, but that's the most important thing. Know your worth, know what you mean to yourself, and be true to yourself, and you'll be okay.
I respect
Yeah.
that. I respect that. Um, let's see. When it comes to the marketing side of artists that's trying to figure out how to price or go about pricing their merch, do you have any advice for them?
Yes, I do. Back again, it goes back to your worth. If you feel like when you're creating a project and that project takes you 5 hours to complete, you can ask yourself, okay, what is this worth to me? Is it worth what I would make if I was working at McDonald's at an hourly rate? Or is it worth $30 an hour? Because what I'm doing, everybody can't do. It's exclusive to me, you know, it's my art. So once you evaluate that, say you do tennis shoes and you customize. This guy wants Ninja Turtles and all this stuff on it, and it takes you 3 days. Well, you have to compensate those 3 days in work days. So you could tell yourself, I make $75 a day until these shoes are complete. And you must uphold the honesty within yourself to get those done as fast as possible, keeping the price low, but still, making your money. Uh, that's how I do it. Say a piece takes me a week to complete. I would
Mm-hmm.
base my pay at maybe $40 an hour, and then I would go at a 8 hour day, 40 hour a week, type deal, and I would pay myself that way. And that takes the monotony out of trying to figure out, well, it looks this good or it looks that good. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. Just look at how much time you spend in it, and try to factor what you feel like it was worth for every hour that you put in it. What your materials cost, all of those things factor in. But more importantly, you want to give yourself a decent hourly rate anytime you're doing art.
I respect. Thank you for that. And my last question, for advice, for anybody that was hesitating to come into the similar field, where you in, to be able to not only create art but to be able to market it, sell it. For anybody that was hesitating because of AI or worrying about, you know, having to deal with AI taking from them or how to go about that situation, have you had any trouble with, you know, AI taking from your art, or like has that ever been a problem for you at the
No,
moment?
it hasn't. AI
Okay.
has had no effect on me because AI hasn't reached that level yet to where it can do everything on anything. I can be called and I can come to your house. I can paint your car. I could go in your kid's room, paint a mural on the wall, and then take a T-shirt and then paint it and go outside and then paint the side of your house. You know, you know
How about the artwork that you post online?
the artwork that I post. You talking about on my TikToks and things like that.
Yeah.
Uh, those things can be reproduced. You can get them at you know Walmart or whatever. Not my designs, but
Okay.
because they're exclusive. I
Mm-hmm.
draw and pick those designs myself. But
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I don't
So,
I don't think AI is a real threat to a real artist. People they can like the AI, it looks good, but you know,
mm-hmm.
there's no respect there.
Okay. So the way how the AI works, it actually takes from like data of like other let's say like other people that make content online,
Yeah.
and it would create our art out of those data that they collected of what people would like, share of their artwork.
No, I didn't know that. You just enlightened me. I didn't know. I thought that they were trying to draw, and then the computer was just helping them
So
finish it up.
you remember the chess game that would be on the like the computer, like especially like when we was like going, I'm pretty sure, but when I was going to school, like the basic computer that they have, like they had like the chess game that you could play with
Right.
the AI, and would
Yeah.
like learn, it would slowly learn like your habits and everything.
Yeah.
That's how the AI is being programmed. Is learning from everybody, sharing their work online. It had to get an idea from somewhere.
Yeah.
So it would pull from like real life people posting their stuff, and then it would make or take your work and then rearrange it and then put a stamp on it like it's original.
They might get a call.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, they might get a call.
so
I know a
so
guy.
from your from so yeah, all right. So that's why I was asking that kind of difficult question, because that's what's coming into picture now. Like for example, Hollywood. Like for example, like voice actors. a
Yeah,
lot of them is like losing out on jobs right now because of companies, like you said, like to save money instead of paying like real people to voice act. What they do is take the actors that they already pay for, have the AI learn their voice, and be like, hey, we don't need you no more.
we just
We
gonna
got the
die.
yeah,
Right.
we got an AI to to not only continue to do the lines but use your voice. So a lot of companies is investing in AI. I even seen like commercial ads
Yeah.
like Pepsi, like they replacing like people jobs at the moment. So I was just curious from that perspective, like so we live in a world where we encourage to work for those type of companies.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering from like an artist's perspective, like is it better to be a freelancer,
I
especially if we head into a world where a lot of companies is investing in AIs?
I would say it would be better to work as a freelancer. Anytime you can, have control of your own destiny, you got to do that. And we got to remember, if we have something that they want, then you might as well keep it for yourself. You know what I mean? If he wants it, what you got, then why don't you just go ahead and do what it is he was wanting to do with your stuff?
Hmm.
I don't think I'd work for a big company. Now, I don't know, maybe a comic book company drawing comic books, but I've learned that a lot of that is going AI as well. So,
Especially overseas.
yeah, you know, I,
Um.
I watched an anime the other day and it was completely computer generated.
Oh wow. Which anime?
It was on YouTube, man. It was just running, and
Oh okay.
I was like, wow, this is
Yeah.
completely all computer. There's no drawing anymore there.
We even getting AI streamers. So like like there's like an AI of a person that's streaming, making like yeah.
You're talking
Like
like
we get into
a AI host?
yeah, like
Oh,
an AI physical entity that can actually like like stream, and it's like a whole video. It's not perfect. You be able to tell, like, especially like one thing I noticed with the AI, their
yeah,
hands is always iffy. Like
oh
there would
yeah,
be like an extra finger or some shit.
yeah, yeah. The toes too. It's always something goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. Or when it comes to like objects, they extra with it. Like there
yeah,
wouldn't just be like a set of like, let's say there's like drums, like there's sets of like three drums. Each drum would be designed differently.
yeah,
Um.
yeah,
Compared to like typically in the background it's probably drawn like all the same. But yeah, the AI is pretty extra with it, so we be able to tell now. But I feel like with 5 to 10 years, I don't
oh,
think we be able to tell the difference.
no, we won't. We won't be able to tell the difference. But
So so yeah, I agree with you. I think it is good to go freelance and support each other, support humans at this point, really.
yeah, yeah, and then I think people as a whole, even though AI and technology is moving up, we're still, genuinely just creative, you know, and it'll never stop. You got those people who are creative and they want to go make technology and make smart robots, and then
Hmm.
you got those people that are like, man, I want to go paint the side of a skyscraper, you
Hmm.
know.
And I was actually to bring it back to you. I was actually curious, how is the process when somebody puts in an order? Um, how that process go?
Yeah, man, they just DM me, give me a call, and we'll work out the particulars. 50% is paid via whichever payment method we decide, and I'll do the project. Once the project is complete, I alert my customer. Let them know, show them video, and they'll pay me. I'll ship it to them.
And how much of their idea and your creativity mix in?
I usually give the customer 100% of what they ask for. That's very important to me because I like to get what I ask for. You know, if I ask for a Big
Mm-hmm.
Mac with some extra onions, put it on there. You know, so I'm doing that.
Understandable.
Yeah, I'm doing that. If you want a portrait of your mother, it's gonna be spot on. If you want your dog, I got it. You know.
Okay. And when it comes to things, I remember you were saying they can bring in certain items along as your air paint. That's what it is. No, airbrush. As long
Yeah.
as your airbrush was able to like you know paint on that item, you would you would do a paint on that item. So I'm curious, what item has somebody brought in that it was questionable at first, but it ended up turning great.
A guy brought in a part from under his hood on his car on his motor. It was like a cover, and it was just lumpy and had all these bumps and humps and squares. And he wanted a Grim Reaper on it. And I was like, "Oh my god, dude, this is going to be crazy." But I pulled it off. Customer was insanely happy, and I think I'll post that. I'm glad you said that. I'll post that and show people that with an airbrush you can pretty much do anything you put your mind to. I guess.
Actually, and and to add on to that, my next question on top of that, I was curious. So, do you have any like behind the scenes when it comes to your orders? Orders such as that with the backstories.
um, I've had the only thing the backstories I've had, things like people will buy things and then never pick them up. I've got pictures of people I don't even know. I've got a lot of artwork of people that just never come pick their stuff up. So
Shit. I mean, all right, to spit some game to you, long form content. Start doing some behind the scenes, like the recording of like, the order, the whole process, the whole shebang with your customers and everything. Uh, just in the sense of like, you just showing, what it takes to be in your shoes and how to run your business. Just like how it is, like like an artist would show like behind the scenes, them writing,
yeah,
them working with artists. So it's the same sense of that. Uh, one in the long form, if you just say the highlights, one that could be easily a merch, a movie right there, and then two, that could be like really interesting, engaging, content that people could react to.
yeah,
And then two, if you sit on those pieces long enough, I mean, honestly, looking at your artwork, I can honestly see your those pieces being bid for. Um, I can definitely see people willing to spend money on it.
yeah. Hey, I like to travel, man, and sell this stuff at conventions, and people are blown away by what can be put on a shirt with an airbrush. Um, my TikTok and social media feeds, they don't have near as much art as I've done, just because I just don't have time. But now I'm making a lot more time to dig deep into my social media. I'm gonna start going live once a week. Each time I'm gonna teach how to paint a portrait or something on a T-shirt. So anybody who's out there who can airbrush, you got a lot of questions on how to mix your paints, or how to do this or how to do that. I'm gonna uh,
Hmm.
I'm gonna show you firsthand, and I'm also gonna send a link to where they can have the image and draw it on the shirt, where we can paint simultaneously from wherever they are.
That's fucking dope. Um, yeah, I even recommend record some highlights out of that live stream too.
Yeah,
Um,
day in the life of a airbrush artist.
mhm. Um, even recommend using this app too on some. You could be able to solo record or connect multiple phones to catch multiple angles.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, like I said, it's similar to Zoom. So the like, as long as you guys like laptops or phones, yeah, you can just set it up, angle it, and connect them all in like uh one big group chat, I would say. Um,
That is awesome. And then you could go back and edit, do all your things, right?
mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, and if you decide to, the next thing I would recommend, like easily, you'd be able to post that onto like similar platforms, like I'm posting on like Spotify, YouTube.
right?
Riverside is connected through well, I can run you the whole process, but basically going through these apps, they can post it on multiple platforms, Spotify, Apple, etc.
Cool, because our studio here, like I said, we've been here less than a year. So I'm pretty sure with any business, getting the word out is key. So, yeah, that sounds very interesting, bro. Thanks for putting me on that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I've been looking at your art piece now, and now I'm even hearing about the tattoo artist. I was just looking, I was like, damn, have anybody, wanted a tattoo or, design, a tattoo for them. But hearing that you're a tattoo artist as well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just looking at your art piece or your clothing, like, it's really, one is good and it's unique. It's fresh and it got its own vibe to it.
Yeah.
Um, And I'm curious to see how far, you take it with your art. Like what do you have any particular goals
Yeah. Yes, I
uh
do. Uh,
for your art? But go ahead.
I want to take it mainstream. I want to get to the point where I am mass producing certain images, and I'd like to have them in stores because I think they have a certain look and appeal that most shirts don't. You got a little image on the front, and that's it. These shirts they pop, they speak to you.
I agree.
Yeah, they
I
speak.
agree. And another thing too, like within our community as well, we don't do enough supporting each other as well. So it's rare to see, people wearing shirts that's supporting of each other and it's not us resting in peace.
Exactly. And as an artist, man, I'm not bashing anybody. There's a lot of phenomenal people out there that do art, but I don't do the rest in peace, long live shirts. I just I did one. I felt bad the whole time I was doing it. I felt like I don't know, man. You know, I just I just don't do those.
And you saying it as like taking a customer order.
What's that?
I was asking to clarify, was you saying as they're taking like customer orders?
Well,
Like if someone would request an order like, hey, make a RIP shirt for me, those are the type of orders that you don't want to take in? Or was you saying personally for yourself?
yeah, I have personal, you know, things about that, because I don't want to be a t-shirt mortician. If you see
Mm,
where I'm coming from, and you can get caught up in that. I don't want to be that guy.
I respect.
Yeah.
And coming in the halfway mark, um, I have some connections that I'll let you decide if those are the type of people you want to connect with. Uh, But starting off with my first one, you were just speaking of pushing, mainstream and having some interest within creating your own comic book, correct?
Right.
I actually have somebody within the manga author field. Shout out to One Nation. It's an all black comic book slash manga. Somebody that's I believe he's from Ohio or Atlanta. Is one of those. But um he's the author. He got his own comic book. He got one volume out at this moment. But if that's somebody that you would like to connect with, someone within that field, uh, I can make it happen.
Yeah, I would love to. I'd love to do a cover for him. I'd love to
Okay.
uh, take his character and do a cover for him.
Okay. And I know for sure he would definitely like your work. So I was seeing you his stuff, his social after the podcast.
Most definitely. Yeah, I'll reach out to him. ASAP. See what we can get going, man. That sounds wonderful.
Okay. A second one. This is a artist, but I feel like uh this connection could do you wonders. For both ends. But Sound Sandwich Podcast. He's an artist, upcoming folk artist,
Right.
but I believe with your talent, not only he usually sit down with other artists to have a conversation
Mhm.
about life, but I feel like not only your talent, but you as an interesting person as well. I feel like y'all could connect and grow, um, and probably do something with that, or even just having connections with other artists within the
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, Next one, Jimmy Live Tap Room. Typically with artists, he collaborate where artists can perform live in small establishments such as like restaurants, etc.
Right.
However, like I said, with your talents, you might be able to work something out with him, or just even having connection with somebody
Okay.
similar doing some interesting live streams.
Where they where they based out of?
North Carolina.
Uh,
Would that be a problem? They are working on to expand it.
right.
Yeah. So, that just to put it out there. They are working on expanding, but right now they are located in North Carolina.
Cool. Cool. Cause man, like I said, we're just starting this business. We're still in our infancy. We're still figuring out a lot of things, and I'm really, really open to more. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And the last one that I have. So recently on our end, we started our own music label. We create soundtracks
Right.
uh, around themes and challenge, and allow artists to participate from dropping a verse or instrument, etc. But when it comes to uh, people within your skill sets, the door is open to you know to participate to create a piece that's inspired around our soundtrack,
Right.
which is mixing horror with Valentine's.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm liking this, man. You gotta. Yeah. This is great. I'm liking this.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're interested in the challenge itself, or just interested in the producer that created the beats for the challenge,
Yeah.
um, we can make it happen. Which shout out to Moss. He's the producer. MAS.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ever seen
Obviously, those in
anybody doing airbrush in that before?
what? For what?
The last one you was just telling me about.
Oh, the challenge. Have I ever had anybody did airbrush?
Yeah.
No. Actually, this was my first time even learning about the airbrush. I was looking at the your tool set, and I was like, why don't I have no needles?
Okay. Right.
So so that was my first time seeing the airbrush, and now even like hearing about the car painting and everything, I was like, oh shit. So this is actually my first time seeing it, and I was wondering why it looked like that. It looked so
Say, what is
almost like realistic. It give it that pop effect, I'm guessing.
this? Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Okay.
I'm glad. Yeah. Glad you
So
figured to the airbrush game now.
yeah, hey, yeah, like I said, it's really interesting to see how art is created using like different tools. And if this is what airbrush can do, god damn, it's it got a hell of an effect. So to answer your question, no. No, I never had, but I'm definitely intrigued.
Cool.
Um, and just like looking at your art piece, uh, I think the potential that you have is really unlimited, and especially with the right tribe behind you.
Yeah.
God damn, I can't imagine like years from now your teachings or your apprentice, you know,
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah.
So if
Oh,
this is what you can do now, God damn, generations.
Yeah, I can't wait to get me another apprentice. I had one, and she blossomed, and moved on. She's doing her thing, and I'd like to get me another one. And we just beat this country up, man. Hit every comic convention, every art fair, as much as we can, and have some fun
Yeah.
with it. Yeah,
So another thing with the project too, um, that was something that we happen to notice when it comes to entertainment. Uh, there's no top dog that's willing to take in, I would say, underdogs to shine when it comes to entertainment. So that's why we decided to start creating challenges to give y'all exposure and and spark creativity.
yeah,
Um, so that's another reason why we started each challenge. So we definitely like for you to take it as a challenge on some creativity. We don't want perfection, we want creativity.
yeah. That's what we
So
want:
that's what we
creativity.
appreciate.
Creativity.
And to give you the floor when it comes to looking for people to network or even looking for a particular apprentice, you can let people know right now. Uh, what people are you looking to connect with or network with, and what potential or what type of apprentice are you looking for? You know,
Well, I'm looking for an apprentice who is, of course, dedicated to their craft. I like to see a live portfolio. I don't really want to see pictures on the phone. I highly respect somebody who has a physical body of work that's tangible. You know what I mean? That says a lot to me. Uh, Somebody who has a strong foundation in drawing, because that's where it all starts. If you don't know how to draw, chances are you're not going to learn how to paint very well. Uh, and just, they really have to be serious about what it is they want. It can't be in their feelings. They have to be able to take criticism and understand that this is business. And aside from our passion, it is business. And we always have to keep that in mind. It's very important. But you don't really know all of the traits that you want out of a person, and until you meet them, and see what type of person that they are, you know, and yeah, I just hope to get a good one, man, because I've had some bad ones.
mm,
Yeah, I've had some.
and do you have any advice for people that's similar into your shoes that want to look for apprentice? Is there anything to look out for? What's some red flags?
Excessive drug use is a red flag. Uh, uh, Lying. Telling you that they're going to do something or that they have been doing something like training or practicing their art, and they really haven't. Uh, just not being punctual, missing serious engagements. If we got a show to do, we pay big money to be there. We got hundreds of dollars of material, apparel to sell. You need to be there. You can't back out on those types of things. Once a person shows you that, then you know that they're not really, you know, in the game. So that's a red flag for me. Missing engagements.
No,
Yeah, you got to be practicing. You got to be showing up. You got to be practicing. Because it took
no.
me, I started airbrushing when I was 16, 17. I'm in my 50s now. So, and I still feel like I got a lot to learn.
How do you feel about when people say, it takes 10 years to master it? Is that true?
No, I don't believe it's, I don't believe you can master it. You know, the only thing you can master in 10 years is saying that. Because every time I
It's
talk,
always something new to learn.
always,
Or go ahead.
always. And once you get, if you're painting or drawing or whatever your art form is, if you even music, whatever, if you're doing it by yourself on your own, nobody can hear it. You know, you can master it. You can, but once you open the door and somebody says, "Hey, I got a commercial. I need you to make me a beat that'll go with this guy riding a bike down the street." And it needs to have a Mongo feel. It's something that you're totally not used to. You've never done it before. Now you just realize that you're the master of absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
Because you got to start from scratch. Now you're like, oh my God, I know what I'm doing, but it's hard. It's not easy because we don't know
Yeah,
everything.
no, I agree. And when it comes to for beginners, for anybody that's curious to jump into uh doing art, do you have any advice for them how to jump in, or as a novice, I would say?
Well, uh, when I jumped in, I was completely clueless and made all the wrong mistakes. I recommend if you're seriously going to jump into it, use the social media like YouTube and watch on what materials to buy for beginners, things of that nature. If you follow artists that do what you like, don't feel bad about reaching out to them, asking them questions. I do it all the time. People do it to me. I get questions every other day. How do you mix your paints? Or what airbrush you recommend? I don't mind telling them. I don't mind telling them nothing. So 90% of the artists out there are pretty good people. And they'll tell you, they'll help you out. They'll tell you what you need to know. But most of all, just jump on in there. Get on in there and do your thing. Don't let nobody tell you different.
So for those that only got a business mindset, some will look at that like I might be losing out on some money if I give out too much gem. Is there a certain amount of balance, or is it one or the other? Like, should we be more open to sharing gems to each other, or should we be limited a certain amount of knowledge that we pass? Like,
Well,
is there? But go ahead.
from a guy who does this stuff, knowing how long it took me, and I've read 100,000 how-to books and this, that, and the other. I've talked to all different types of people, and it didn't matter. You know, Even though I ingested what they was telling me, I understood it completely. Having it from my head, go to my hand and make it do what it's supposed to do, still took years of practice. Uh,
Mm,
I'll tell a person everything about how I create a picture because I know that you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to have to practice. You're just going to have to do it, do it, and do it. Oh, I got it, Jeff. I know how to do it now, man. I had to practice it. You made it sound easy, but it wasn't. you know,
I guess it's true what they used to say in the movies. Years of practice actually shows.
exactly.
So, okay, so your years of experience can be easily copied in one stroke.
Because what I'm telling you, like, you see people go to art school, and say it's 100,000 people in that art school. Only maybe 10,000 of them are going to be like badass. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Just come out of there and they can just paint anything perfectly.
mm.
You know what I mean? And they got, it just all depends on how you take it, how you learn. And I can give you the game all day. It just doesn't mean, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to play right away.
Mm, okay, I
But if
respect
you,
that.
but if I can give you the game and then you soak it up like a sponge, and in 6 months you're almost neck and neck with me, skill level. Well, hey man,
Mm.
we're gonna be a power team now.
I respect that. I
yeah.
respect that. Yeah, we shouldn't be, or correct me if I'm wrong. Your answer is basically saying we shouldn't be competing with each other.
Nah. And if it,
Mm,
if we do compete with each other, it should be healthy competition. competition to motivate and uplift. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No real shit. And bringing this back to you, when it comes to your art pieces, is the Batman, Joker's, behind you? Is that part of yours, or?
Yeah. I painted this mural
Oh,
on the wall here. Catwoman, she's over there too. Yeah, I got him over there lurking. Would you like to see it?
oh yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, I don't mind. Throw on the switch.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Still got some things I want to do to it, but yeah, this is the lab. Yeah,
oh shit.
this is the studio. Right outside that door is where all the tattooing happens. We got, I believe, we got 3 other artists that work here with us.
Mm. And how are you like at a when it comes to like looking for people to when you looking for apprentices, is it just for the creativity aspect, or is it also along with the store as well?
Uh, well, of course we want to get artists in here to fill up position, but
Okay.
they gotta have some they gotta have some skills, man. I'm real serious about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't charge for an apprenticeship. Most people will charge, and
Mm.
you pay them all this money, and then they still throw you to the wolves. I
Mm.
like to charge, but I charge you in work. You know, you come and you put in the work. I'm trying to make you a better artist. I don't need your money. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make my own money. Just come in here, show me the dedication. That's how you pay me. Show me that you're serious about it and you're doing your best. And I'll take you wherever I'm going.
No. No, yeah. I was just wanting to make sure that was on the same page when you was looking for apprentice. I was hearing about the going on the road trip, but I wasn't exactly sure is the apprentice also being looked for as the store as well.
You mean what you're asking if I had this?
Was you like as a apprentice, like was you also looking for apprentice for your for as an employee as well for the store,
No,
or
well,
was that two separate matters?
yeah, it's two separate matters.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. The way this shop runs, we don't actually have employees. Everybody here is an independent contractor,
okay.
and somebody comes in. Say you're an apprentice, and somebody comes in and they want a T-shirt that says Jennifer across the chest. Well, I might be busy working on this, so you know that's where the
Okay.
apprentice comes in. They knock that out. They get that
No.
work, get that
And
experience. Yeah.
that's what's up. And how y'all go for opening your doors for independent you call them independent contractors?
Um. Let's see. Wait a minute. Come again with that.
I was trying to recall, you call your people you work with independent contractors.
Yeah.
How you go about opening up your doors for, anybody that's looking to expand and as an independent contractor?
Okay. I'll give you a good example. Say you got the business mind, but you don't have the tech. You can facilitate. Say, for instance, you can buy a place, renovate it, turn it into a beauty shop, even though you don't fix hair, you know, and just facilitate for other hair artists to come in and apply their trade. So that's pretty much how this works. It's a tattoo shop. We have all of these different offices, and if an artist comes through and you know they want to work, we'll let them work here, and they make money Well, we make money off a percentage. So, they do a
Mm-hmm.
$600 tattoo. We get a gratuity. The shop gets a gratuity of it. And that's how that works. They don't actually work for us. We can't fire them. We don't tell people what to do. It's not like like working at McDonald's where you got somebody, hey man, get to work. If you come here and you
Mm-hmm.
don't work, you don't make any money. It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
You're your own boss. You're independent. You just use this building to ply your trade, and you pay gratuity every time you make a sale.
So it's similar to like how people would set up like booth or like the tables at the market,
Yeah, yeah,
selling their own.
exactly.
Okay.
Just on a more
Okay.
permanent basis.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah,
And you and your business partner, uh, like, was that the original strategy of your business plan, or did something
yeah,
spark this?
yeah. We were. He was actually my apprentice, and then he got his tattoo license and went off and started his own studio, and then came back started this studio, and everything's been going good. My business partner is a great tattoo artist. His tattoos look just like my airbrush, and it's crazy, man.
Hmm.
I don't know how he does it.
I'm curious, what's the difference between your artwork with an airbrush and your tattoos?
Uh, not too much difference.
Okay.
Not too much difference. The only
So,
thing that I don't like about the tattoo industry is that if
mm,
you have a passion, you like to paint portraits.
mm,
You're not really going to get to do a lot of them because, for one, a lot of people can't afford them, or you know uh, they want something else. A lot of artists are stuck doing stuff they just don't want to do, and I don't want to be caught up in that.
you know, I think I understand how you feel. For me, like, when I was younger, I got a chance to be a DJ,
Right.
and originally I wanted to be an artist, but when I got a chance to be a DJ, at first I was like, you know what, I get to play, music that I fuck with. But then when I started hosting the events, I was like, oh, I don't get to pick the music. I gotta play what they want to hear. I was like, oh, this shit.
Oh.
So yeah, I think
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So so you want to, well, your journey would be going back on the road, uh, traveling, showcasing your art, and taking that to the next level, such as comic book animation.
You're asking me if I do some comic book animation?
No, I was asking when it comes to well, I'm bringing it back to the earlier conversation. My bad.
Right.
When we was talking about you want to go on a road, take your art to the, as far, next to your highest level as it could be. And you
Yeah.
did mention the comic book. I was also curious, was you interested in the animation as well?
Oh yeah, man. I love animation, bro. Man, I love it. I wish I could have afforded to go to school. There's a school in Nashville called Agassi School of Art. It's
Mm,
it's just way out there, man. I wanted to go there so bad, bro. I really did because they had an animation, of course, there. You know, some of those guys were getting out of there going to work for Disney, and I thought that was just awesome.
and when it comes to the comic book conversation, do you have like some ideas of your own? Are
Oh
you
yeah,
working on your
man.
comic book?
Yeah, I do. I was trying so bad to learn how to draw comics as a kid, and really kind of into my adulthood. And now I can draw all that stuff no problem. But I love it, man. The guy you was telling me about with his own book. I can't wait for you to put me in league with him.
I actually work with another artist. He's an artist, but he's also writing his own. mini story, I can also send you his works as well.
Right. 'Cause I got some. See if I got any comic book work out. 'Cause I got an entire portfolio of nothing but my comic book illustration from characters that I created and all that stuff.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. And is this like once you get a chance, this will be the most likely the one that you would be running with?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh. Okay, that's dope. Yeah. You could definitely show me after the show. I don't want to spoil anything. Uh. For you or future or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm definitely intrigued to hear more if you don't mind sharing.
Uh, well, I'm kind of confused a little bit. I don't know where you're at. Cause
Yeah.
what you
Wait,
say?
can you hear me?
'Cause I can
Oh,
hear.
no, I was asking, I was curious to hear more about your comic book industry. Wait, what was it? Your comic book prototype?
Oh, okay. Because you were getting kind of low. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, that was my fault. But I was just curious to what you were saying about your comic book.
Yeah, it's been several years since I worked on it, but I did compete. Todd McFarlane, are you familiar with him?
Who?
Todd McFarlane. He created the Spawn.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, he had an art contest a few months ago, and he wanted people to draw a cover for the comic book. So I participated in it. And you never guess, man, a AI artist won. Can you believe that?
Oh, wait, you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. He literally said in the rules, no AI artist, period. And when he announced the winner and showed the work, I was like, oh wow, dude, you just picked the AI guy. But
Oh, oh
really,
wow.
yeah. But I have the piece hanging here on the wall that I did. I'll show it to you. Oh, I have to flip the camera. I don't know. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah,
Oh wow.
I put in like 4 days of hard work. I drew it, inked it, and airbrushed it, and submitted it just to lose to AI. So going back to what we talked about earlier, yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
has affected me. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it
God
has.
damn. Um, and I was actually which that sucks. That definitely fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Which that spawn piece is amazing. That does look good. And when you were saying, being affected by AI, god damn.
Oh man, wow. And he clearly said in the rules, man, he didn't want to see that kind of stuff. He wanted to see
Mm,
raw talent because that's where he came from. Raw talent. And I think he had over 1,500 entries, maybe more than that. You know, so all those people, bust their butt, man, to draw something for that guy.
so wait, so not only he choose him, but he's stuck with it? Oh wow. Oh,
Yeah,
he was committed.
yeah.
Damn. I thought it was gonna have a happy ending. Guess not. Um, but bringing this back to you, I was actually curious about your comic book. Um, do you have any details that you would like to share, amongst the people about your?
Well, I never. I'm not a writer. I don't fancy myself to be. I can just come up with ideas and concepts of what I would like, and then draw, build characters around it. So, in order for my stuff to really come to life, I'd have to sit with the writer and put it all together because it's pretty much just basically characters and you know premise. Nothing really set in
Hmm.
stone.
Okay. Um, how what would be your interests once you get your hands, making progress on this story? Would it be more action, storytelling, adventure? What will your story consist of?
Uh, my story would most definitely be built around conflict and conflict for sure. And there would most definitely be a lot of action because a comic book ain't a comic book without action, bro.
No,
And,
I respect that.
yeah, and then yeah,
No,
it'd have to have those elements for sure.
okay. And my last question to your comic book: do you have a name that you've been working on for it, or
Yes, I do. I came up with a name called Day of Days.
Dave?
Yeah, Day of Days is kind of almost like the second coming of Christ, but not biblically, not all Bible.
Mm,
You know, it's almost like what if Christ came back, but instead of being a carpenter, he was a warrior.
mm.
You know,
Okay, like a parallel universe or a butterfly effect.
maybe more so in the future. We could have him coming back.
Mm,
They said he was coming back.
okay,
Okay, they said he was gonna come back.
interesting, interesting.
Gonna hook up some
Um,
gypsy.
my last question is there well, this could be a two-part. Is there anything else that you'd like to showcase or promote within your talents or skill sets that we don't know about?
Well, no, man. I'm primarily a airbrush guy. That's what I do. I'll paint a 10-story building with an airbrush if you give me one. You know what I mean? Uh,
No.
that's my thing, and I would like to show this piece right here. I like this particular Spider-Man. I like this. It's
Okay.
unique, but you can't get this at
I
Walmart.
go
You know
hard.
what I mean? You can't get that at Walmart. You can get a
I go
Spider-Man
hard.
shirt there, but not that one.
And when you create your art piece on the shirt, are you how you go about printing it?
When I print it, I'll just airbrush it straight onto the shirt.
Like is like that shirt only have that one design, or will you be the have like multiple
Oh no,
design
it's
on
it's
like
it's a one and done. These
oh one and
shirts
done?
that I
Okay.
make are exclusive, bro. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When you come to my shows, if you pick out a shirt, a God of War, Kratos shirt, you know,
No.
when you walk away with it, you're the only one on the planet that's got it.
Okay. And do your online store has the same items?
Yeah, yeah, the same
Okay.
items that I create. Once I get that back in effect, yeah, everything that I make that you see on social media, whatever, you'll be able to find it on the website.
Okay. Is there any exclusive coming to the store personally?
Come again?
I was just wondering, is there any like exclusive item for people that come to the store personally?
Uh, no, we haven't done that,
Okay.
but that's a good idea, man. I might put that out there. I might put that out there.
Hey, if you need another businessman, right for the job. Um, but yeah, I think that would definitely spark interest if you looking to give people a reason to come to the store. Like even hearing about like pieces like people don't pick up. Like that's to if you want me to be honest, like I can even see people if you bid those items, I'm curious to see how much people willing to pay for it. But if you save that as like an exclusive item that people can pay for to come to your store exclusive, I can see that being an attraction.
Oh yeah, man. I make sure that my artwork is accessible. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be able to afford it. I mean, what's the use?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can even see like, that being like an exclusive, treat for people to come to your store personally. Like, oh shit, if I go to the store personally, not only I can get a custom piece, but I could probably pick up something, that depending on how you set it up. Like if people go to GameStop, we got new games, but we also got the pre-order, we got used games and all that shit.
Yeah.
You know, so it could be like the same treatment, coming to your store, or even having some exclusive shit that's not on the website,
Yeah.
but they had the
Yeah.
person come to the store. Hmm.
So you got a point there because I do have exclusive stuff that's not on the website. The website only showcases apparel. When it comes to the
Okay.
store, it is littered with canvas paintings, and I have murals all over the place. And the only reason why I didn't give you the tour of the show, I mean the shop, is because we have customers.
Respect.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem at all. But even when I was talking to you about the behind the scenes, like, stuff like that, showcasing that behind the scenes or whatever, or even, for example, like a Patreon too. You know about Patreon?
Uh-uh.
So Patreon, what's the best way to explain Patreon? So basically, you can make exclusive content where people have to pay to have access to it.
Ah.
But so for example, like if I want to make a film, if I want to post behind the scenes instead of just making it for free, I can just charge people $5 to support my Patreon, and that would be exclusive content that they would get. So basically, Patreon is another way to market shit from behind the scenes to art pieces. Where I would say it's an interesting way to test out your product. Even when it comes to like, especially like the limited, just hearing like exclusive shit like the limited, I even try even bitten, because right now the way how your item set up is very exclusive, and
Yes.
it's like it seemed like not even, I don't know, no money shit. I know that's not your main focus, but I think that could be a way to engage with people just seeing like shit. If I don't buy this item now, like somebody else is gonna get it.
Yeah.
And this guy talking about is like one of a kind, so that means that one Spider-Man is a one of a kind. Like he's gonna do like all of
Yeah,
it.
when I paint
So
Spider Man again, it's gonna be different.
yeah,
I've had
yeah.
people come to shows and they were like, "You still got that shirt from last year?" And I just look, "Really, bro? Really?"
Hmm. Hmm. Wait, somebody still had their shirt that they paid for you since last year?
No, no, they would come to one of my shows, and see a
Mm,
shirt that they wanted but wouldn't buy it, and then they would
mm,
come back the next year to that same show and think that I would still have that shirt.
mm.
I'm like, "No,
Oh,
bro.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I got one, but it's not the same one."
oh yeah. So, and my last question. I know I keep saying that, but when it comes to your art pieces on the t-shirts, um, like if you did a character, how will you go about making it different? The next time you draw, like if we were to say for Spider-Man, will you draw a different version of Spider-Man?
Yeah, I draw completely. If they said I want a Spider Man like the one you did where it looked like he's hanging off the shirt, I would do that for him, but it would be a completely different pose and all that. It'd be completely different from what I did the first time.
And how you keep track?
It's very simple. It's very easy. Just you know, it's like whatever you're into, you know what you do. And if you paint something, you know, it's like imprinted into your brain.
What they call those people? Like photo.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what
Yeah,
you're talking
when
about.
they can like recall
Photogenic
images.
memory.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So it's similar to like that.
No, I wouldn't even say it's that in depth. It's basic, like I know I painted that next time. Uh, but usually,
Mm.
bro, people don't order this stuff. I sit and
Okay.
I paint whatever I want to paint. You know what I mean? And then I display it
Oh, okay.
and they buy it.
Okay. I see, I see.
It,
And you said your main is t-shirts, and you
yes,
do some pants and like jackets and stuff.
yeah, hats, all that kind of stuff. Do all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, one last gem to drop. Is there any new items that you working on to add to your service for for people to buy? Any new addition to your items that you're working on?
No real new additions. Well, I have new additions. I paint at least three major T-shirts a week, but I've been really gearing up for this social media. I'm getting ready to start going live, man, and teaching. So that's been at the at the front of my head. I'm getting content ready for that, and so I can get it out to the people because I want them to paint with me, man. I want to teach them. I want to show them. Yeah,
No,
it's time,
I respect that. And to end it off with this, how can the audience help you?
man.
Would it
Just
be by
tune,
tuning into your live stream? Oh, go ahead.
tune in. Give me a follow. Uh, Give me a follow. If they do that, they'll be privy to when I'm going to do it, and join in. If you want to be an airbrush artist, if you don't know nothing about it, but you want to get into it and learn it, this will be. I'll be your guy.
Much love.
Yeah,
And thank you.
and it's free. It don't cost nothing.
Real shit. And thank you for, giving back.
Hey,
It's
man.
really rare to see that, especially in our community.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
Keep up the good work. Before you go, shout out all your platforms. Shout out
Man,
anybody that you want to put on.
you can
And then, oh,
check out my Instagram. It's called the underscore Jeff underscore killer underscore coffee. It's kind of long like that because somebody hacked my last one. And then my
mm,
TikTok is Jeff Killer Coffee. You know what I'm saying? Those are the only two I got. So come on over and check me out.
okay. And going forward, you set up two-way verifications.
Two-way verification.
Yeah, so most app got like a two-way verification where you set up your info like let's say you forgot your password, you can set your phone as like a backup emergency. So not anybody can just like log into your account. They would have to have your phone number.
Right.
I mean like they would have to actually have your phone.
Yeah.
So they would send like a personal code to that phone for you to to stay logged in. Keep from anybody just logging into your shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would just recommend that. You could definitely do that on Instagram and stuff like that,
Cause man,
and TikTok.
yeah, cause I got way up there, man, on Instagram, and then somebody got me, and then they got got a lot of customers for a lot of money.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
yeah, damn. Uh, It is a hard word out here. Uh,
Some guy in
but
Africa.
it always overseas. That's the part that sucks too. Like not only some hacker, but like a motherfucker they most likely never gonna see.
Never,
Um, shit
never.
tragic. Yeah, I recommend setting up a two-way. If you need help with that, I can send you more information.
All right.
Um, but yeah, I recommend to keep your stuff safe. Um, but outside that, I believe in your work. And I think
Thank you.
wherever you got planned for it, I think you could definitely bring that to life.
Dig that, man. I appreciate that, homie. I really appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you giving our platform a chance. Keep up the great work. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to your success.
You
And
too,
thank you.
man. Yeah.
Have a blessed one.
You too, man. Much love, homie.
Much love.